Hello, thank you for watching this tutorial to learn a little bit more about the budget versus actual labor input report. Once we've gone through the work of modeling your company, finding out what you need to charge per hour, putting together a cash flow budget, we've put a lot of work and effort into getting it to this point. Simply putting it in the drawer and considering it done for the year would just be a waste of all that time. You've got the tool in hand now, your budget, your pricing. Those are tools that you have to ensure the profitability of your company. Just like any other tool in your toolbox, you have to utilize it on a regular basis because simply having it does you no good. The software is the exact same thing. Now that we've gone through and calculated what you need to charge per hour to make sure that you cover your overhead and generate a reasonable profit, we need to remember that that hourly rate is directly related to the number of hours that we projected that we were going to bill out for the upcoming year. The budget versus actual labor input report lets you track the number of hours that you're actually billing out and comparing it to your model to make sure that your pricing stays in line. It's a very simple tool to use, but you have to use it, just like any tool in your toolbox. So let's take a look at it. To access this tracking report, we'll simply make sure that we are on the Tracking Reports section of our left-hand toolbar. I'll go ahead and click on that section, and then we'll click on the Budget versus Actual Labor Input Report on that left-hand toolbar. In the upper left-hand corner, we've got our various departments for our company. And so we can start out with our service department. In the hours boxes in the lower left-hand corner, you can see several different columns. First off, the actual hours for the month. This is where you'll actually enter in the number of hours that you have billed out each given month. The next column is the budgeted hours for the month. Based on what you entered in for billable hours for your individual employees in the service department, the software will add up all of the hours for each individual employee and put them in the budgeted hours for month section here in this report. So as we can see in January, based on what I entered into my software, I've got 225.4 hours that I'm expecting to bill out in the month of January. I've got 154.4 hours in the month of February, and so on down the line. We then calculate if we're either over or under that budget amount. And then we've got cumulative actual hours throughout the entire year, cumulative budgeted hours, and so when we compare those two together, we then have a cumulative over or under total. On the right-hand side, we're actually graphing out the same information. We start out, the yellow vertical bars are simply showing us our budgeted hours. That's what we expected to bill out throughout the year. The blue bars are our actual hours that we're entering in. So as long as our blue bars are exceeding or greater than the yellow bars, that means we're doing okay on the year. And our hourly rate we know is going to be accurate. Anytime we start falling below the yellow bar, now we have a problem. And we've already done some of the math for you on the graph. The plot points and the green dots and the lines are simply showing us how we compare budget versus actual. So in January, I'm exceeding my budget by 10 hours. In February, I'm exceeding by 32. In March, my cumulative total is exceeding by 27, 46 in April. And so as we start entering information in on the left-hand side, and let's say I've got 300 hours in May, it will immediately plot that and show where we're at. Now, if for whatever reason we start falling short, let's say I only build out 100 hours in June, it will immediately start showing me that, wait a minute, we have a problem. And keep in mind that the scale on the left-hand side will always show you the number of hours for the over or under. You can see now our blue line or zero line here has just moved into the middle of the chart. So we are now 82 hours below our projected target. Now if that trend continues throughout the year, we will now start to have a serious problem with profitability, because as long as we are not billing out as many hours as we expected, the end result means that our hourly rate that we're charging is too low, and we need to increase that hourly rate. So this is a very valuable report. Utilize it, use it to track your actual hours to your budget, and make changes throughout the year as you need to make sure that you stay profitable throughout the year. Now this information can be tracked for each individual department. We've been looking at the service department. We can simply switch over to the installation department by clicking on that one, and it will show us where we're budgeting out there. And when you click on all departments, it's immediately going to add up everything that you've already entered in and just gives you a cumulative total for the company. This concludes this particular tutorial. We encourage you to utilize this tracking report as well as the other tracking reports that we have built into the Labor Pricing for Profit software. Thank you.